After you've installed R and RStudio using the Posit website and working through the steps of my last video, you can get started on the assignment by downloading it from Canvas and then going to the file. You'll notice that there is a weird icon with a zipper here, and it says that this is a compressed folder. What that means is that this is an entire folder of information that you cannot use until you've extracted it. You can see the button right here that says extract all. You must click this and extract the folder before you can use the program. Just click through to finish the extraction. You'll see a folder pop up, and you'll see that there's now a folder here with no weird zipper icon. Another way to know that you did it right is to look inside the folder and you see normal looking files, as opposed to if you were still in the zip folder and you tried to open it, you would see information about ratio here. If you see ratio and compressed size, you've done something wrong, back up. But if you just see size here, then you're good to go. Remember that, or rather you should know that, you could open the assignment here if you accidentally were in the folder that's still zipped where it says ratio. You could open this assignment, and if you did, you would get stuck. Things wouldn't work the way you expect. So just flee, run away from that, and go to the good folder where it says size and you have all your extracted files. Now you can double click on the CPH330 assignment 1 file. This should actually say R Markdown. My computer says RHTML for no reason, but that's okay. We'll open it. And when you open it, you should see something like this. As soon as you open it, the first thing you want to do is make sure and run this first chunk of code. And the reason that you want to run this first chunk of code is that it will make sure that if you're missing anything I think you need, that it will install it for you. So this is what you'll always do anytime you get code from myself or Professor Brock, is you'll hit play on the first chunk. Here, I'm having it install some extra programs that I thought it might need. It checked, it saw it didn't need them, so we're good to go. It didn't install anything. And then it called up libraries that I thought you might need. This might look a little bit different from your actual assignment because I have a couple of extra libraries called here. The important thing to know is just that you must press play, this green button, on chunk 1 code anytime you load up a program from us. Continue watching if you want to see what the code looks like as we run it. As we run chunk 2 code, we're going to load in the data that is in the folder where this assignment is saved. So here in the folder we have GSS data 2004 and 2024. These read.csv calls load that data in. The data looks like this. You can open the original file just to make sure that things kind of look normal here. Everything is looking okay. I see year, age. I'm going to do the same thing with the 2024 data, make sure that all looks okay. It's all looking the way I expect it to. And so I'm going to continue on to chunk 3. In chunk 3, the two sets of data from the 2 years are combined. Once they're combined, we're going to do a little bit of renaming to make it look nicer. And then we're going to do a little bit of rearranging to make it kind of be in an order that makes sense for you. So don't worry about it too much. Just remember that you have to hit play on this next chunk now. If you ever go to hit play on a chunk, like let's scroll down a few and do one. Actually, I guess I can't do this. If you ever go to hit play on a chunk and you get a warning saying that you're missing something, make sure that you didn't skip a chunk. So let's see, if we skipped chunk 4 here and went straight to chunk 5, we're going to get a warning about this variable. And then if you look backward, you can see, oops, I skipped chunk 4 where this variable is set up. So we're going to run chunk 4 where we set which variable we want to look at. This variable's name comes from the data dictionary here. And in the data dictionary, we have a yellow column of new variable name. You can see I'm using new sex education, which is in row 10 here. Be sure that you refer to the data dictionary to understand what the label means and what the values of the variable are. So there's up to 4 values per variable. You can look through the dictionary for more detail on how our new variable relates to the data dictionaries for 2004 and 2024, but the important thing is that you're using the yellow name and that you're looking at the values in the blue columns to understand what you're looking at. So here we've got new sex education. You also need to always set the prefix that you want to put on the front of file names. This is really important so that you're not saving over your work. If you don't change this as you're changing your variables, you'll save over your work and you'll have a headache. So we're going to hit play on this. And now that we've assigned that variable, we're ready to run the next chunk. This next chunk creates a frequency table for how many favor, oppose, or didn't answer the question about sex education opinions. And so you can see there's a lot of missingness. And so we go ahead and remove the missing values. And for those of you who want to know how this code works, that's done here within the table function. I set what I want to remove from consideration. But you don't need to understand how to do that today. The important thing is just that you're running this next chunk. And when you run that next chunk, it recalculates everything, giving you the percentages that favor and oppose without missing included. When you're working on this on your own, you can then set another variable of interest using the code in chunk 7. So let's take a look and choose one, and we'll choose one that has a few more levels just for fun. So let's do this demographic variable, new res 16. I'm going to copy the name. I'm going to double click here, and I'm going to make sure, I just had to hit delete because it accidentally put a line break. I'm going to make sure that I see double quote, the new variable name, and another double quote, and that this is green. That's how I know I did it right. I'm going to rename this. So this is residence where I grew up. So we'll just start it with that so we remember what we're looking at. We'll run code 7. We'll run chunk 8 to make the missing included table and the no missing included table. These are the two things that you need for your assignment. And we'll see those two tables came out, where we have the percentage that didn't answer the question is 0.24. We have everybody else. When we remove those, here are our percentages. And you can keep doing this as many times as you want, as long as you set a new value here, set a new name here. And if you want to, you can keep copying and pasting the chunk. When you're all done with the assignment, hit the yarn button up here that says knit, and you're going to see something like this, processing file. What this does is it produces something for Professor Brock to see that you've done the work for the class and to see your results. So if you accidentally save over a table, anything that's in this code here will get sent to Professor Brock, and she'll get to see what you were seeing in the data, even if it didn't save properly. But in addition, as you've run the program, if I was in the right folder, 1 second. As you've been running the program, you've been creating output tables. So we have our table of opinions on sex education, and we have our table of the residence where people grew up. So here are those two tables. So you have that available too, which you'll use as you're putting together your poster. I hope this was helpful. Please reach out to Professor Brock if you have any questions. Thanks.